Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were doing the 8 steps of Ashtanga. We came up to Yama Niyama Asana. Next few steps are Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana. 4. Now Pranayam. When Patanjali starts his Yoga Sutras, it defines yoga as Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha, which means getting rid of the distractions of the mind and the movement of the mind in waves so that it becomes still. Right? We started with that. He started with that. Now, where is pranayam, breathing, linked to it? How? Because yogis understand that the human body has many channels. There are different channels in the human body. According to the yogic texts, there are over 100 channels in the human body. And life energy, which is called prana, flows through these 100 and odd nadis in a haphazard manner, with no order. Yogis say that that is the thing that is responsible for the mind always moving. It's linked to the prana, which moves in all these nadis without any control, here and there, erratic in most people. So therefore, thought is linked to the prana, and therefore the thought is also erratic. So the idea of pranayam is to still the prana so that the mind, thought waves are also stilled. This is the connection between pranayama and chitta vritti. Okay, now actually pranayam, although it's called pranayam, it's also called Swashayama, which means controlling the shwasa. The breath is called shwasa. And the prana, or the life energy, is linked to the shwasa very closely. If you control the breath, you control the prana. You control the shwasa, you control the prana. This is the link. For the yogi, to raise the awareness from the lower to the higher, which means to make the thoughts still and quiet, and the mind remains in quietness, tranquility. When the mind becomes tranquil, the awareness lifts from ordinary to the extraordinary, from the gross to the subtle. So the first step is to calm the mind. Now the breath comes into the picture. Because if you control the breath, you can control this prana which is running around in so many nadis and bring it to one place. We'll come to that. Now look at your breath, it's very interesting. We rarely give any attention to our breath. It's so important actually. Look, you can live without water for some time. You can live without food for some time. How long can we live without breath? Half a minute. That's it, gone. And our body has many functions which are autonomous. When you say autonomous, they're controlled by the autonomous nervous system. Circulation of blood, we have no control over it, right? It is autonomous. Digestion. We eat food, yeah, but we don't say digest, right? It starts working inside. Different acids are poured, the whole thing is going on. Excretion. We go when it is compulsory to go, but the whole process is not in our hands. Even eating and swallowing is really not in our hands. If the esophagus does not have the movement called peristalsis, you cannot eat food. It won't go. That's why sick people are given food with a tube, because this is not working. Heart, we have no control. It starts, I don't know, when you're a baby inside and the doctor says, yeah, now he is breathing. Now the heart is beating. And then it goes on till it stops. When it stops, we have no control. Yeah, doctor might revive you once or twice. The third time he'll say, I can't do more. We have no control over these things, although we like to think that we are in control of everything. We don't. Now also breath. Breath also, like circulation or digestion or any of these things, is automatic. Like the heart, you don't get up in the morning and say, breathe. It's going on. And when it stops, you are not there to say, now start again. You're gone. Right? So, but if you notice, among all these autonomous systems which happen automatically, there is one which we can also control. That's the breath. You can't control circulation, heart, no, but you can control the breath. And you can say, now go soft, now go fast. So that breath is the link between us, the conscious mind, and that which is beyond. That's the only thing we can handle ourselves. And through practice, you can hold on without breathing for a long time, which normally is not possible. So the breath is linked to both involuntary and voluntary movement, which is, we can also play with it a little bit. So therefore the breath becomes the link to what is here and what is beyond. There must be something which is operating this breathing. So when you connect and become aware of your breath, you are moving towards that, which is the origin of breath. When you say breath work, that is what it means, that you normally are not aware of your breathing at all. For a change, we say, let us look at our breath. Let's be aware of it. And it's such an important factor in our life and existence. So shall we look at our breath? As you look at your breath, as you become aware of your breath, your mind begins to quieten down. Anyway, then the prana, which is moving in all the 100 and odd channels, is brought to one place in the Muladhara. And then, for the yogi, only 3 channels are important. One is the Ida, other is the Pingala, and the central channel called the Sushumna, which is actually part of the central nervous system. The bottom of the spine to the cerebrum. So, pranayama is the art or the science of softening your breath, because you'll see that when your mind is agitated, the breathing pattern is also very agitated. When you're calm and quiet, like listening to music or just sitting, watch your breath. Very smooth and nice. So if the mood is reflected in your breath, can we change the mood with the breath? So what the yogi does is first to follow the breath, to become aware of the breath, and then to fix the breath on the Ida and Pingala and make it equal. Prana, Pana, Sama, Yukta, make it equal. And then bring it to the Muladhara, gather all the prana there through the mind. Because when the mind becomes aware of the breath and the mind become one. There is no difference. Otherwise they are independent. And then from the Muladhara you raise the prana through the Sushumna, through the different centers, so that your awareness goes from gross to subtle, to subtle, to subtle, to very fine till it reaches the Sahasrara. This is the importance of pranayama. There are many techniques. Kriya is one. There are many other techniques too. So, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. Now comes pratyahara. Now pratyahara is generally translated as withdrawal of the senses, but it's not really accurate. Pratyahara means the capacity that the yogi develops through constant practice of pranayam by attending to the breath, to be able to fix his attention on any one thing. It could be an idea, a thought, a sound, or an image, or anything. The yogi through practice develops one-pointed attention. When the prana is really controlled and is flowing smooth, then one-pointedness becomes natural. Develops the capacity to fix the mind on any one thing at a given time, and at short notice be able to draw it from there and fix it on something else if required. A yogi's mind is not an obsessive mind. It's not obsessed with only one thing. The yogi has the capacity to fix the mind on one thing and at any short notice remove it and fix it on something else. So a yogi, whatever he is or she is doing for the time being, is doing only that and not something else. You get what I'm trying to say? When the yogi is driving, he is not meditating. That's dangerous, of course, for other people on the road. But when the yogi is driving, he is driving only. That is meditation. When the yogi is meditating, he is not driving, he is not thinking of his car, he is only thinking of his meditation. This is pratyahara, the capacity to withdraw, switch on and switch off at given moment, at any moment, which comes through practice of pranayama. Have you heard of the Zen Buddhists? Have you heard? In India, it's a big fashion because it is imported from Japan. So, Zen, probably you were aware that the person who actually taught Zen, was from India. There was a great Buddhist yogi called Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma came from the south of India, from Tanjore, and he also was the one who took self-defense techniques into China, and then it went to Japan. The Shaolin monasteries, the first beginning was done by Bodhidharma. Now you can make out from his pictures, there were no photographs then, painted pictures of Bodhidharma. He did not look like a normal idea of a yogi, you know. First he had long hair like this. A tough guy studying like this. So Bodhidharma took the practice of a particular form of Buddhism into China. He called it the Dhyana Buddhism. Dhyana Buddha. Dhyana Bauddha Dharma, he called it. Now this Dhyana laid a great stress on meditation only, mainly to meditate for long hours, control the breath. And of course, he taught the art of self-defense, unarmed combat, because those days when the yogis traveled, they were attacked by dacoits and so on, and they're not supposed to carry weapons. That's why. So anyway, that's not so important. But Bodhidharma introduced Dhyana Buddhism into China. He didn't go to Japan, he traveled only up to China. Now in the Chinese language, Dhyana becomes Chan. Chan. Even today it's called Chan. And when it went to Japan, the guttural language, Chan became Zen. That is the Zen that we have. Anyway, Bodhidharma used to live unknown. the top of a hill in China, somewhere in Canton, in the hills. He lived on the top with a few disciples of his, cooking, making things, meditating. So, 3 young men wanted to find Bodhidharma. So they traveled everywhere. There are no Google, no advertisements, no podcast, no YouTube. So they had to find him. So with great difficulty, they wandered for many days, became very tired and hungry. Their clothes were dirty, and so finally they found him. And when they found him, they were overawed looking at him. And I told you about his picture. He also looked tough. They were thinking what to do now. And it was lunchtime. So Bodhidharma was having his lunch. Had a big bowl of soup with a wooden spoon. He looked like this. Continue. So they said, "Sir, we have come with great difficulty. Look at our clothes. We've been hungry, tired. We just wanted to see you. We want to learn Dhyana, chant." Bodhidharma said, "I'm drinking my soup." They said, "What is this?" "We came here for a big purpose to find Dhyana." Into Japanese call it Satori, Samadhi. And this guy is saying, "I'm drinking my soup." We can see it. He's drinking his soup. What is this? Then the Bodhidharma turned to the kitchen and said, "Bring them their soup." So they were all given a bowl with soup and a spoon. They were about to drink it when they said, "What nonsense is this? We didn't come for soup. We came to..." And Bodhidharma said, "Drink your soup." So they started. They thought maybe he'll give a slap. Then they put down their spoon and they again asked him, "Teach us Dhyana." He said, "But I'm drinking my soup." They got very angry. They said, "We are also drinking our soup." He said, "No, you are not drinking your soup. You are drinking your soup and thinking of Zen, of Dhyana. This is not drinking soup. You are drinking your soup, yes, but you are thinking of Dhyana. Me, I am drinking my soup. I am drinking my soup. I am drinking my soup. This is Dhyana." This is a perfect example of Pratyahara. People come to me and say, "Evening, when you sit down to meditate, the mind is wandering." I said, "What do you expect? Whole day your mind is wandering. So will you expect it to shut down in 10 minutes in the evening? No, it won't. So whatever you're doing throughout the whole day, do with complete attention. So then when you sit to meditate, then your mind will meditate. The habit will be developed of one-pointed attention. This is Pratyahara. Then, Dharana. Dharana is through Pranayam to Pratyahara, the yogi develops the capacity to fix attention on any one object or one sound or one idea or one symbol, any, exclusively there without any other attention, one-pointedly. This is called Dharana. Okay. Now when Dharana continues uninterrupted for some time, it becomes Dhyana. If somebody says, "I am practicing Dhyana," actually the term is wrong. You can only practice Dharana. In Dharana, when you forget that you are doing any Dharana and it is continuing, then it automatically has become Dhyana. I cannot do Dhyana, I can do Dharana. The continuation of Dharana is Dhyana. In Dhyana, there is only Dhyana. There is no meditator. There is not what is meditated upon. There is only a continuous flow of meditation. This is Dhyana. When that happens for a long time, a person attains the state called Samadhi, which we discussed. A state where the mind is silent, quiet and tranquil, full of energy, and enjoying the bliss of the Atman. This is the trial through which you go up there. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. This is the Ashtanga Yoga. This is the Kriya Yoga of Patanjali. That's it. So, great many yogis have practiced and discovered for themselves that it is possible. So there is no reason to suspect that it is not possible for you and me. Why not? Most important to note is try and follow as much as possible the rules and regulations. 1. Practice daily, so that the mind gets into the habit every day. And don't lose hope. Continue till you find that quietness is very blissful. Once it's touched, your whole life has changed. Your way of looking at things has changed. You're not hiding somewhere, you're there. But people who interact with you themselves will begin to figure out that there's something different with this guy. He's not afraid of anybody, nor is anybody afraid of him. In the Gita yesterday. A great yogi, a great person one day was talking about this, about meditation and stillness and how the mind. There were lots of people sitting. At the end, after he finished, everything was quiet. Everybody was meditating. The mind was clear. You could hear those little cicadas, chick, 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 chick. Suddenly one guy stood up and said, "Sir, then what is meditation?" So, this is meditation. Because now the mind is one-pointed. It's quiet. You followed all that we worked on. And all extra thoughts have subsided. You're beginning to taste. The thing is to persist. Have no fear. Believe me, everything will set into place. That's all. I just came to say that. So now what you should do, the exercise is to get a good translation of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and go through the slokas and see if you understand what I was trying to convey. My suggestion would be, there is a small book called Raja Yoga written by Swami Vivekananda, which is a commentary and translation of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. It comes under the title of Raj Yoga. Or there is one translation written by yours faithfully, which is called Yoga Also For The Godless. Because one young lady came to me and said, "Sir, I want to practice yoga, but wherever I go, they're saying, chant some hymns to Ganapati. I don't believe in all that, but can I practice yoga?" I said, "Yes, surely you can. In Sankhya, there is no Ishvara concept. So you surely can practice your yoga. You don't have to go into all this." So I thought there must be many such people. So I translated the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, sloka by sloka, word by word, so that there is no doubt on that. If somebody say, "Oh, it is not like that here," this is what the word says. Therefore, I titled it Yoga Also For The God, not Yoga for the Godless, okay? I know that I have a God, so it is not like that. It's yoga also for the godless. Even if you don't have any such concept, you can still practice yoga, attain that state of quietness and tranquility. Then you can decide whether there is God or not. Don't worry about it. No? When you say God, what do you mean? You will realize. So, that's it. Thank you. Samaptam, Shantam, which means over, peace. We chant Om 3 times. This is better than question answers. Tomorrow we still have some time. So, we chant Om thrice, then say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Start. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om.